Welcome to Let's Talk Battle Rap Podcast, the Battle Rap Podcast in New York and the Battle Rap Podcast of the world. This episode is brought to you by letstalkbattlerap.com. Log on to check out our latest article featuring Eazy The Block Captain. This is bigger than Eazy versus the URL. As always, if you want to follow us for all the latest news on Battle Rap, follow us on all socials at LTBR Podcast. And now, time for the show. What up, player?
Vlad, another Monday pod, even though this will be dropping on Tuesday because it's Monday currently. You know what I'm saying? We're here to give the people what they want. We got an action jam-packed show with some battle announcements on the next URL call. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk a little bit about my weekend with the compromised Christians. That's kicking with Saga and A.Ward all weekend long. That's going to be
AKA Christian Rock.
You know what I'm saying? And then shout out to you for plugging Q Moody's article, staff writer, senior staff writer at LTBR. You know what I'm saying? He had a dope, easy
Don't forget
piece.
the senior.
Yes, sir. We're going to definitely talk about some of his easy piece and all bunch of easy news. This has become the Let's Talk Easy show, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like Eazy has found a way to hack
Sunday morning.
He has found a way to hack the algorithms, and so you will consistently be hearing about him, right? You know what I'm saying? Just the same way Fox talks about LeBron and the Cowboys every day. We're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Eazy's got a lot of traction the past couple of days on them algorithms, boy. Whew.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. We also got some call outs over the last couple of days from some rappers we're going to talk about as well. And we also got a big update as far as the Bad Newz and Geechi Gotti battle. So stay tuned. We got an action jam-packed podcast. But Vlad, how you doing today, sir, before we get this show on the road?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Another Monday. You know what I'm saying? Took the kid out to the park today. The daughter's crib and room is all hooked up now, so it's official. You know what I'm saying? We put all the decals on. We got all the decorations and stuff like that. Amazon dropped it off today. You know what I mean? It was a nice day. Feels like springtime is here. We actually got a tree in the front yard. You know what I'm saying? When they plant those new joints and stuff like that, and it's like it's got nothing on it. And then one day you look outside, you're like, whoa, is it budding out there? Like it's flowers out there. So man. We come from the ghetto, So like when you're standing out there looking at your tree, you're like, oh snap, like it's happening. Like this is mine. You know what I'm saying? So it felt great, man. It was a little moment that I could take a little joy and pride in. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, it's good. I actually contemplated, you know what I'm saying, downloading this Pokemon game for the Oculus. You know what I'm saying? But then I said,
snap. I didn't know they had one.
But they got like, they're not official versions, you know what I'm saying? But they're kind of like little Pokemon worlds that you can go into. Because after if y'all don't know, man, France and I did a 4-hour live stream last Saturday?
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday going into Friday. And man, I don't watch anime. I don't know nothing, but France was doing backflips for some poly swirl bar or whatever. And I asked him to put me on and for the chat to put me on about what Pokemon was all about. And they broke it down to me, and it's basically about colonizers enslaving animals and making them fight each other. You know what I'm saying?
All right, listen. This is a role-playing game where we are building a small team of monsters on a quest to become the best in the world. All right,
right. Where you go around capturing these little innocent monsters against their will and keeping them in a place where you train them to go fight one another. You know what I'm saying? Sounds a little Michael Vickish to me, you know what I mean? But
it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy. But I was like, you know what? I can't do this, man. I can't download this game, man. So I didn't want to go into the Pokemon world, you know what I mean? But other than that, though, man, it was a great day, man. Great weekend. What about you, player?
Oh man, I got to kick it all weekend with A.Ward and Saga. You know what I'm saying? They had a battle out in the Bronx on Saturday. And they had their first 2-on-2 actually, so that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And I was just thinking,
what do they call themselves? Are they still the Horsemen when they battle, or do they got a special name for those two?
No, they're the Horsemen. No matter how you vary it, whether Saga Loso Saga, A.Ward Loso, A.Ward Saga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Loso Street Hymns. It's just the 4 Horsemen. They battled on Bloodsport,
Mm-hmm.
and they battled against these two MCs called Jagged Josh and Gutter. It was my actually I'm familiar with Gutter. I've seen Gutter battle Av back in 2019, but I wasn't familiar with Jagged Josh. It was my first time seeing them, and it was interesting to watch Saga and War get ready for that. They battled. Saga had a whole mission, honestly, because he had a battle in Flint, Michigan, early Saturday. So he flew. He caught a red eye. Flew at 6 in the morning to Flint. Right, battled at like 3. Then, or I'm sorry, not at 3, like at 5.
Yeah.
Then was supposed to catch like a 7:30 flight. It got delayed. Then he ended up catching like a 9:30 flight. Touched down by like 11 something. Got to the venue by like midnight and then battled. So the man had like was on like no sleep. 3 flights, right? One going, one coming back. 2 flights, one going, one coming back on the same day in 2 different battles.
Yo, he's
Was
got to be battle rapped out, yo, today, man. Like he probably don't want to see a battle, write another bar, hear another bar. Like he's got to unplug from the battle rap matrix for like at least a week or two, man. But knowing him, he probably got a battle in 2 weeks coming up somewhere. Ugh. Flint, Michigan. How's the water out there? Did he drink any water out there?
Man, I did not ask
Did
him.
he take a shower out there? I'd be scared to take a shower. No, he probably didn't even have time.
No, he probably didn't even have time. You know what I'm saying? He lived his whole life in one day. He said he documented all of it. He's going to be releasing it soon. I hope he does, because I want to see what the hell he did with all that idle time and how was his first battle and his second battle. Because boy, oh boy. You know, speaking of Pokemon, like actually, Saga had a Pokemon bar.
Here we go.
He had a bar about this the sea dragon called Gyarados. You know what I'm saying? He was like, don't worry about it, Vlad. The listeners know who Gyarados is. You don't got to know who Gyarados is, right?
Sorry.
So for y'all to know Gyarados, you know what I'm saying? Saga had a Gyarados bar.
What was the bar? Let me see if I can try to understand the bar. Break the bar down for me.
Actually, I got a clip of the bar.
I'm sure you do. Why wouldn't you?
What's wrong with me having a clip of the bar?
Yeah, the man who made the Polyswirl bar go viral. Of course, you'd have this one too.
Here we go.
You want to be a traitor? Well, I got a list of demands before we cross and pass. I said, you better jet or these guys are packed. They said they trying to bring Aaron to New York with throwing bullets. Roger that. Go! You got me? Facts. I'm prepared to go. You gonna see horses dragging like Gyarados. Going live.
Listen to all the Gen Zers. Whoa, what? Whoa. Horses, dragons like Gyarados.
So dragon. I'm sorry. Gyarados is a sea dragon. So he said you're gonna see horses dragging. So you're gonna see the horsemen dragging them. You're gonna see horses dragging like Gyarados. Bruh.
Right.
Even Tay-Rock was right next to me losing his mind. You know what I'm saying? So like there's no reason for you to be downplaying Pokemon bars if the Gun Bar King can give it a stamp of approval. Okay.
Yo, the Gun Bar King is also like 8 years younger than me. So, you know, he falls right in that line of where, okay, it makes sense for him to watch that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
By that time, kid, I was gone, man. I was gone. I was not watching that. Of course. Man. Oh my gosh. Did you hear everyone going crazy for that joint, man? Should be ashamed of yourselves, man.
Hey, listen, man, it hits, man. I'm sorry. It hits. What you want me to do, man? What you want me to do?
It's disturbing, man. Pokemon. Anywho, man. Now, man, yo. Those guys were very violent in that. We'll get to that battle. But man, France, man, a lot of announcements made, man. URLTV.tv is back outside. 2 announcements made. Let's get straight to it, man.
Yeah, man. So speaking of me being outside, URL decided to drop an outside. You know what I'm saying? Outside part 2. And the first announcement they made yesterday was Rum Nitty versus Saflare Soul for day 1. And they're going to do another 2-day event. This is going to be in Orlando. It's actually going to be in the same venue where Civil War 3 was at. So that's dope. So it's a nice
so these guys get to battle in front of a crowd.
Oh, they get to battle for a crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. They get some experience on that stage. Yeah. No more of this small room final exam type joint. Now y'all got to graduate onto that crowd and prove it for real. Okay. I like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. This is a good test for Saflare and Rum Nitty, but also day 2 we got New Jersey Twork versus Chef Trez announced.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
URL like sign over here. Come get these plates. Oh yeah.
yeah, man. Let's start with day 1. There was a lot of what's the word I want to use? Responses to this battle.
Mm.
All types
There
of
was,
responses on
man.
all different scales. You know what I'm saying? People are happy that Saflare's getting the shot. Some people are frustrated that Nitty is giving a shot again. Some people think the match makes sense. Some people don't. I think it's like a solid, like, you either love it or you don't. How do you feel about it?
Very polarizing battle. France, I'm here to tell you, I love this battle, man. I think
Mm.
if you're just thinking about it purely from someone who loves lyricism, someone who loves bars, punches, all that stuff, styles, complexity. This is a battle for you. You know what I mean? You put this battle in a vacuum, and it's like, why would you not want this battle to happen? Now, when you put politics around it, and you're like, Rum Nitty just won Champion of the Year for 2022. Why is he battling this person? Then yeah, okay, you can start to do this and do that and start to pick like, oh, why isn't he battling Murder Mook? You know what I mean? Why isn't he battling Loaded Lux? It's like, well, Loaded Lux is waiting for that $500,000 check from King Bowser to come through so he can go battle Daylight. You know what I'm saying? So he's just sitting back chilling. And Murder Mook is battling, the ball from Virginia down there on the other side. You know what I mean? So it's like it ain't gonna happen. So what do we want? Do we want battle rap parody where we can just get people who are nice battling one another, or do we want to sit back and wait for all these mega matchups that we build up in our minds and sometimes let us down? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, here we go. We have two dudes who are super nice, who go crazy, and we have a chance to get a classic battle out of this. And I saw it, man. I saw half the people were loving it, and then half the people were just like totally hating it. But I think it's dope. I think it's also, let me put on my Inspector Gadget two-way hat. You know what I'm saying, friends? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Go, Gadget, go. I think, you know, they're looking at what's going on and they're going, listen, people talking about these contracts, people talking about this, talking about that. Look what we're doing for our guys. You know what I'm saying? You come sign over here, your third battle in, you getting Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? Chef Trez signed that 2-year exclusivo. Your man's battling Twork. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
After just main eventing against John, another main event
uh,
battle.
hello. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these options, you got all these leagues, and they're saying, hey, take a look at what we doing for our guys who are signing that exclusive joint. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about this. How long would it have taken him to have gotten Rum Nitty in the past? You know? And now he's here battling Rum Nitty. And the whole point of Outside is like, we take all of the tears out of it. We take all of that, and it's just like, yo, you nice, you down for the wreck, you down for the wreck. Let's make it happen. And this is what's happening, man. I think it's a dope ass battle. Like when you look at it style wise, it's a dope battle. Now I'm gonna remove my Inspector Gadget hat. You know what I'm saying?
Great breakdown, Vlad. Uh, People forget that outside, the theme of it is being outside for competition, meaning tears are stripped, politics are stripped, who wants to smoke. It's the home of a platform. I'm sorry, it's the home of a theme where you can get a Twork versus a Snake Eyes, an Av versus a True Foe, you know what I'm saying? A Next versus a New Jersey Twork, a My Verse versus Miss Hustle. It all fits the theme. You know what I mean? So somebody like Saflare Soul getting Rum Nitty, I'm not gonna lie, it's a giant swing because it's like, a lot of guys get this like leeway of like, hey, you don't got to beat Rum, but if you can keep up with Rum, that's pretty good. And he's obviously off to a great start so far with the league. Like he made a Summer Madness debut, had a one rounder there, made a
Yeah.
volume debut the same year, beat Chess in the finals exams. And
Yeah.
listen, beating Chess, competing with Chess is one
Clearly.
thing, but you beat Chess clearly and you beat him by the votes. That's not easy to
Hello.
do. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
So if you can overpower somebody like Chess and his fan base, there's promise. And I've always said that. For me, it's real early on, I'm okay with people just keeping up with these vets, right? Because I'm not necessarily expecting them to beat them due to the lack of experience while they're still developing and reaching their ceiling. But
Yeah.
when you beat these guys, especially by the numbers, it means something to me because it shows that you have now overpowered their popularity with the level of performance you put on, and you have just gained into your popularity by doing so. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
absolutely.
so his first three battles, chest, foots, and now a main event against Rum Nitty. Again, the reason why I'm a little cautious though is just because this is a giant swing. Like, could Saflare keep up with Nitty? I think he's extremely talented, he's extremely lyrical, extremely intricate. He has all of the capabilities of being explosive and hanging in there with Rum. But whether he hangs in there, beats him, or worst case scenario, lose clearly, like you started him off at the mountaintop. Like, how what much more is there available after Rum Nitty? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's plenty of rec available still. You know,
Mm-hmm,
I think
mm-hmm,
what's going to be interesting is seeing how he adapts to. I mean, clearly, we saw him at the Summer Madness one, right?
mm-hmm.
But that's a different thing. You know, you're battling White Jesus. You know, no one's expecting you to be on this card. People are just like, all right, let's see what's happening. And Homeboy just like, you know, Z the Dropout just wasn't on point.
Yeah, we can scratch
So
that. We can scratch that.
right. No. But what I'm saying is that he still got a lot of reaction from that crowd, though. It's not like he didn't. You know what I mean? But,
Right.
you know, there's a lot of circumstances around that. You're the first battle. This guy wasn't all that. He's a gringo. And then you're
One
dropping some
round.
one
Right.
round. It's like, all right, now this is 3 rounds versus like one of the all-time crowd favorites, France. We've seen how the people react to Rum Nitty when he's out there. It's like, come on, man. The people come with they bring in the oxygen tanks to the battle already just to get hyped up. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can gas things up. I mean, the gas it's merit. It's definitely warranted. You know what I'm saying? The reactions, but we've seen things
Hey,
get
hold on. Be
out of
careful.
control. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
Vlad, be careful, man.
That's
We had
what
a
I took away.
hold on,
I'm
hold on.
not saying gas. I'm not saying gas.
We got
You
that.
know
We
what I'm
got
saying?
that. We got that one faithful listener that thinks that thinks you're kind of critical
Man.
on Rum, and he be on your helmet. So he
Yeah,
gonna hear
listen,
this
man.
part.
That's what
He
I'm
gonna hear
saying.
this
I'm,
part, and he
I'm,
gonna
I'm
tweet
saying
us.
they're bringing the oxygen, right? Because they know they're gonna go crazy and they're not gonna be able to breathe. You know what I mean? Rum definitely warrants the reactions that he gets, but
They clean up. They clean up. Hey, listen, Twitter account that if you hear this part, Vlad cleaned it up. Take it easy on him, all
sometimes
right?
but nah, man, this is gonna be like a real stage test, and it's gonna be for 3 rounds. And now that small room versus chess. Yeah, man, you definitely got the best of chess, and you were dope. And then Saflare Soul versus Foots. You know what I'm saying? A contained room. With a lot of rappers in there and stuff like that. So it definitely is a different type of environment. Now we getting back to the stage. Now we got to work the performance. We got to see what the performance is like. You know what I'm saying? And see how he works that stage versus a crowd favorite, man. So I think this is a dope test, a dope battle. Stylistically, man, I'm in love with this matchup, and I think it's dope. Yo, you signed that contract and they're giving you plates out the gate, man. Like, you gotta make the most of it, man. You know what I'm saying? This was the easy path, no pun intended, right? You know what I'm saying? You start. I mean, they gave him that Cortez, Danny, and I was like, okay. And then after that, boom, nothing but A1. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what's up. Maybe they like, yo, man. Let's see what we can do, man. See if we can make lightning strike twice.
So I was thinking about a little bit comparing it because obviously everybody would probably feel like this is a bit of an early arrival, right? When you see Rum Nitty, and it's less about Soufflare being accelerated, and it's more so about like he's battling the #1 rated guy on your app. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
battling the reigning Cody of the year, one of the greatest punches of all time. So of course, anybody 2, 3 battles, 4 battles into the league, they're gonna feel like they got Rum Nitty a little bit sooner than anticipated. But I was looking at other people, the UM1 class when they were rookies. Some of the guys from UM4 as well that excelled. 3 battles into their career after battling their class. What was the resume like? So Castro, Williams Castro, his first 3 battles was DNA, Mike P, and Jack Boy Main after UM1, right?
Mhm.
Real Sick, Chilla Jones, B Magic, Mike P. Kid Chaos, Danger Zone, Saga, Danny, Jada Nightwing, Shotgun Chug, Saga, Twork. Eazy The Block Captain, Danny Myers, T Top Rex. Fonz, I think, had an incredibly interesting, difficult schedule. His first 3 battles were Av, JC, and Castro. This is all one-on-one battles, by the way. We're not counting 2-on-2s. Slade, Sheet Happens, and Stumbles are the ones that probably took a bit more of a progressive route because Slade had Bad Newz, Real Name Brandon, Rada, then Big T, and Slade before he got to then Stumbles before he got to Twork, Sheed, the tournament. All 3 battles were in the tournament, then Kid Chaos. You know what I'm saying? Stumbles had Sick in the tournament, and main event was Snake Eyes, Shotgun Shook. So, like, everybody, for the most part, got massive plates, massive challenges. And I would say somebody of the level of close to Rum Nitty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say Chilla Jones was a champion of the year. One real sick battle him. You know what I'm saying? Castro's first battle was DNA, one of the greatest battle rappers of all time. Too, you know what I'm saying? Jada Nightwing got a Twork's return in his third battle after won. Eazy, for God's sakes, Cortez, Danny, T-Top, Rex, like straight legends. Fonz went to straight killers, Av and JC. So the point I'm getting at is like it's real big sink or swim, and I think he's one of the guys worth taking that swing on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's see. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you know how it is, man. You gotta put these dudes out there and see who is able to take that leap, and who are you gonna put the bag behind? Who are you gonna who are you gonna push the button on? Who are you gonna try to like push the button on and make the next guy? You know what I'm saying? Everyone's gonna get an opportunity, but it's who's taking advantage of these opportunities. So Saflare Soul, the ball is in your court, my brother.
So on the opposite spectrum, though, for Rum Nitty, right? All right, here's what I'm gonna say. I know everybody's thinking to themselves, he's the Cody. Where's the plates? Where's the big plates? Where's Mook? Where's Lux? There's very few big plates available at this point for Nitty, right?
Mm-hmm. It's about almost everybody.
Mook, Lux, Verb, Calico. Verb, kind of drops a gem, entertains you for a week or two, and then moves on to the next topic. Calico, I think, is a big enough battle that you can wait for a bigger card than outside, right? You know what I mean? Right. Murder Mook is obviously occupied. Loaded Lux is mentally occupied. So,
yeah, that was where did that come from? I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, listen, he's
yeah, I hear you.
King Bowser's got a plate for him, so we're gonna have to wait.
He got a 500,000 waiting for him, man. Him and Daylight.
And I went to Verse Tracker and I seen the top 10 highest viewed battle rappers of all time. Nitty's battled 7 of them.
Get out of here.
Clips, Arsenal, DNA, Tay-Rod, K-Shine, Surf, Hollow the Don. Only ones he hasn't battled is Hitman, Conceit, and Disaster. Disaster is also occupied this month. Hitman Hollow's not coming to URL, respectfully. Conceited, don't come back to battle rap. enjoy the rest of your life where you're at. You're etched
any thoughts of coming back to battle
you're
rap?
Etched in stone. You know what I'm saying? You're good.
Do not come back to this.
What I'm getting at is like, there's not many big plates left for Nitty, right? And I'm also realizing he hasn't battled in over 100 days now. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't battled January, February, March. He hasn't battled since the middle of December.
Damn.
Right? So over 100 days, honestly, almost like 130 days. The man hasn't battled in close to 4 months. You don't just take a 4-month hiatus in this new era of battle rap. It's so accelerated and things move so fast-paced and just come into a giant mega match neither. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there has to be a little bit of momentum being built. I'm sure URL is going to be the one to say, yo, Nitty, we're going to cut the check and give you something special. Don't you worry. You know what I'm saying? But Nitty's also a warrior. He has no problem getting it in with any of the younger talent. He's down for all the smoke. And he has said it many times. I'm a single father of 4 kids. I got to pay these bills, man. So like, you know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily look at the league and be like, why aren't you bringing him these massive plates? Maybe the timing is not right yet. You know what I mean? There's a bit of momentum gap between him not battling so long. You also can't force these guys to take him. I will say I do think that because Nitty doesn't promote as much, there's always going to be a little hesitancy between some of those higher names. But again, I think that his skill level, his resume, what he's proven, and how much of an asset he is to the league, that all that is overpowered by his lack of promo. You know what I'm saying?
You just brought something to my attention too. I think this is something where we get to see a league and a battler have a symbiotic relationship where they're like, hey, you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to also bring some new folks on. Could you help us out? and give these guys a look to help their profile. You know what I mean? And one hand washes the other, and they're like, yes, I can do that for you if you do this for me. So I like it when they can work together, because when you're running a league, this is what you try to do. You know what I'm saying? You try to bring in some new guys, bring in some new blood, give them some exciting battles to get the people talking about them, because it's very difficult when these guys are battling each other, time after time. Yes, they can make, the little intra class classics and stuff like that, but then the people will always say, well, what's going to happen when they battle this guy or battle that guy? So you give them a chance to get some of Nitty's fans get introduced to Saflare, and then if they do what they do and they put out one of the a super fire battle, then it's like it's a win-win all around the board. You know what I'm saying? So you work with the league works with you, and it should be a win-win.
Yeah. Listen, it's a massive swing at the fences. Personally, it wouldn't have been my first swing to throw at Saflare if you wanted to give him a really big test, but I'm here for it. I like the match. I know the match is going to be competitive. Ultimately, Nitty does this really powerful thing where he is consistently feeding the economy of these guys that are trying to elevate to the next level. There's just a lot of them, in my opinion, haven't necessarily, I want to say, excel from the opportunity. Like I feel like they keep up, they lose clearly, they get credit for keeping up, but I don't really see massive people like their whole things changing. Like let's go down his shots, like Jerry West, right? Drugs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you would consider C3 a shot. Probably not. Definitely Don Marino, Holmesy the God. You know what I'm saying? Next. Shout out to Next. Castro. Nun's probably one of the few guys that really capitalized the most.
That, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know what? When you say it like that, France, you got to look at it another way also.
Yeah.
Nitty doesn't promote a whole lot. He's not a battle rapper that you're going to get a lot of engagement from outside of the ring. So you don't really get a chance to, like, if you're battling a Verb, he's going to talk about you week after week leading up to the battle, day after day. And if you're witty enough and you got a personality and you want to get online and market it with him, then you get a chance to really market yourself outside of the ring. And some of these guys, the names that you listed, I mean, besides a Castro who does a lot of things outside of the ring too, Don tries to, you know what I'm saying? But some of these guys, Next, when's the last time you see Next promote anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these guys just come battle and then go away. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I personally haven't seen much of Saflare online presence before this, and Nitty's not one that's going to go out there and just promote your name to death. He's just going to show up and do what he does. His fans are going to love it. So I think it's also like you don't really get a chance to engage with him and engage with his audience until before the battle also. So I think that does kind of hurt them a little bit, as opposed to when you battle some of these guys. Like if you get a chance to battle Surf, whether Surf thinks you're nice or not, they've paid him to do the promo and the battle. So whether he's dragging you every day, calling you all sorts of names on the spaces, or just in general and interviews and stuff like that, your name's getting mentioned constantly. So it gets embedded into people's minds. And if you do a good job, yo, man, you you done elevated somewhat, But with Nitty, he ain't gonna talk about you. And if you don't do a good job, then sayonara, see ya. And if you do a good job, then it's like the impact is not as heavy as if you got to promote along with him for like 4 or 5 weeks straight. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just going over the list of all the names that I guess he's giving shots to, and I love that Nitty is always willing to give back to the league, give back to these names so they can elevate. But the track record so far, I don't see a lot of the guys really taking full advantage of this. And I'm not going to front Vlad. Saflare doesn't really have the online presence that I would like. I definitely had a conversation with him over the weekend from when I seen him perform at Volume against Foots. I genuinely thought him and Foots had like better performances than like Calico, Charlie Clips, you know what I'm saying? A lot of guys that whole weekend, to Tay Rock, you know what I'm saying? Red, Chef Trez, None, Clean, Stumbles. A lot of people that are much more experienced than them, they had a better performance that entire weekend then. So I told them, like, yo, go pop your shit. Like, go jump on these spaces, talk crazy, go do interviews, go on a little promo run after this. Radio silent. No matter the results of this Nitty battle, you can't go radio silent after this. All right. Nitty and JC are the only people that we're allowed to be radio silent.
Well, sometimes too, man, like with a lot of these matchups, it's maybe these matchups with Nitty are for something else. Maybe it's not to get that notoriety, that popularity, but you know how the rappers always say you learn something, you take away something from each battle. Like you get to improve something of your skill set from each battle that you take. And Nitty's one of the all-time greats. So getting in the ring with him, maybe it's just preparing them to add another layer to their styles, to their development, to that if they do start putting everything together, it's like, you know what, I got that one out of the way. I learned XYZ from this battle that I could implement into my style, into my delivery, and I could take advantage of it for my upcoming battles. But I would definitely try to get the promo, man. But it's hard to promo against someone who don't promo back too. You know what I mean? And now we got two guys who don't promo, so it's like you leave it up to the company to promo this, man.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like afterwards, there's no reason for you to not afterwards do your thing. You know what I'm saying? If going into it, we don't get a whole bunch, that's fine. But knowing that respectfully, because app events obviously sometimes they take a little bit more time to drop. Sometimes they can take a couple weeks. Sometimes they can take 2 months. Like Tay Rock and Stumble still isn't out. Av and True Folk still isn't out. So keep that in mind that no matter how good I do, I don't know when this will drop. So I have to keep myself relevant on the type of performance I have after this battle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that too, man. Like, it's unfortunate that this event won't be streamed live because I feel like, people tune in to watch. A lot.
Yes.
So if this was, a live stream for free, what I'm saying, then you would have that opportunity to be like, all right, I know I didn't promo, but I got a lot of eyes on me right now, and I can get a lot of supporters immediately. I think that's one thing that's definitely going to be missing from this battle is like that live experience where these guys can say, people watched me in that moment, and I got a chance to grab a lot of new eyes right then and there. So, man, get on that phone, man. Start promoing after this battle. Y'all need it for real. Y'all definitely need it. In this day and age, you can't just be battling and disappearing anymore, man.
Yeah, especially not if the idea is to make you a superstar, which he has all the capabilities of being. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
there is a power vacuum there now,
Yeah. So let's cross over to day 2. New Jersey Twork versus Chef Trez. What's your thoughts on this battle?
Hold on, big dog. Oh man. France, I'm gonna keep it 100% with you, man.
Keep it 8 more than 92.
Yes, sir. I wasn't the most excited about this battle, France. I gotta keep it 100 with you, man. I mean, it's like I hate when a battle was announced and I just think like it's gonna be a one-sided battle. You know, like Trez is definitely a talented rapper, but I just don't see how he's gonna win versus New Jersey Twork. You know what I'm saying? Like, not this version of Twork that we're getting. And I was just like, man, I wish there was like a better test for Twork. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps a better matchup, but at the end of the day, I gotta be happy for Trez. You know what I'm saying? Like, he signed on to E exclusive, and yo, you just got John, a match that people wanted to see for a very long time, in your backyard, and now following that up, you got New Jersey Twork. So it's like for him, dope matchup. I'm happy for him. I hope he shows out and like really like shuts me up and say, "Oh, you weren't excited for this." I hope excited for the battle after it happens as you're watching it. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I hope all these matchups are fire, man. But I gotta admit, just hearing the announcement, like I wasn't as like gung ho as I was for Nitty and Saflare Soul, man.
So, like I mentioned earlier, there was a lot of polarizing responses for the Nitty and Saflare battle. But this battle seemed to garner a ton of positive responses. And I know stylistically, when you see Twork and how consistent he's been comparing to so far the run Chef Trez has been on since his return to URL, I can definitely see why there's a disparity in your mind as far as what they both bring to the stage. And the last time both of those guys were in the same venue, Twork had the best performance of the night. Chef Trez was at the bottom of the totem pole for there. You know what I'm
Yeah, I mean,
saying?
I'm just looking back, man. I'm looking at the Trez and none battle, and I'm like, all right, that one wasn't all that. Then they did a 2-on-2 together, and it was
Yeah. By the way,
like,
we've been kind of excluding the 2-on-2s with like the 2-on-2s and
right, right. But
2-on-2s.
but still though, I was looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
I was like,
I don't want anybody listening. You didn't mention the 2-on-2. I've been excluding it because I just want to include in the sample size of 1-on-1s.
right. I'm
But
like,
that 2-on-2 team,
come on, man, come on, left and left. I want to be desired. You know what I'm saying? You
yes.
know, the battle versus authentic. I mean, that
But
was
let me sell you on a little.
authentic. You know what I mean?
Let me sell you on it a little bit, okay?
All
So
right, sell me up, man. Sell me up. I'm here.
okay, so Chef Trez last 3 1-on-1 battles on URL: Authentic, None, and John the Don. Listen, the None battle was my least favorite battle that entire weekend, respectfully, and I think he had a pretty good return to the league against Authentic. And then going into the John battle, you know me, I was very critical. I was like, look, man, I feel like Chef Trez hasn't had full passion, energy, and drive in his last couple years. I haven't seen a level of him on the stage that can compete with John. It's a main event battle. I don't know how he's going to fare out in a headliner like this. He proved me wrong. He
It was
proved me
his.
wrong.
It's been his best battle since he's returned to the league for
Yes.
sure. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so
It definitely. I was definitely way more engaged in this battle than I was from his previous battles. I will say that for sure. So it's going in a better direction. You know what I mean? I'm just, I don't know, man. This twerk
I
that we've been seeing is just like,
now
yikes.
look, I do think though that after a battle like that, the John battle, winning it on the app, having a battle like that, I think is definitely an upward trajectory. And more importantly, I think a forgotten nugget about this is Twork and Chef Trez are from the same PG class, 2016. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is an interesting, like, hey, let's spin the block on 2 people that hasn't battled yet. It's like, wait, these guys haven't battled yet. By the way, this battle was booked on Battle Academy, I believe, in 2019. It didn't get it didn't go down, and now they're spinning the block on this battle. And I'll be honest, do I love the battle? The reason why I don't love the battles because I kind of feel the same way you feel. Like I don't know how Trez beats this level of Twork. You know what I'm saying? Because John, as much as I rock with John, he's not as explosive as Twork. And when John was on the stage with Twork, there was a clear separation. Although they both could beat John on the stage. Sorry, John.
Mother, shut your mouth.
Sorry, John. Sorry that they both beat you. I'm sorry. But you know, they both can beat John on the big stage. But can Trez beat Twork on a big stage? I don't know, man. But there
I think
always
you
is
do
something.
know, France. I think you do know.
Yeah, I think I do know. But I will say there's always something special about people from the same class battling each other. There's always like this level of competitiveness,
That's
this level
true.
of
That's true.
ferocity of like, oh shit, we came in the same draft together. Like, that's
That's
up
true.
here. So
That's true.
yeah.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, you sold me a little more in this battle. Un poquito. You know what I'm saying?
I tried,
Ay, bendito. Ay, poquito. A little bit more. You know what
I
I
tell you what
mean?
though,
So,
the people liked it more than Rum or Saflare.
yeah, yo, listen, Chef Trez is beloved, dog. Like
Yes, he is.
he's got a little cult following, man. Like people really, 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 really love Chef Trez. So listen, man, maybe, like you said, man, that interclass battle brings a little something more to it, and we get more out of it than perhaps I'm expecting, you know. So I'm gonna watch it, you know what I mean? But
Hey, we'll stay tuned for more announcements on Outside. J Small, Q, and myself will be doing another Outside narrative article after all the
okay.
battles are announced. So we're gonna do another narrative piece. That was fun. We made a narrative for all 12 battles. Maybe they'll do 12 battles again. Maybe they'll do 10. We'll see.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see.
But I do want to say, you know, now that we're seeing the card, I see people on Twitter chattering, people talking about I want smoke on this card. I can be ready in 19 days. I can be ready in 14 days. And
Okay.
I was intrigued because just a week ago, Miss Raining Wody, her Coffee Brown, has some very interesting words for Snake Eyes.
What she had to say?
I'm gonna get you the exact quote.
What does she have to say against Snake Eyes?
See if I can pull this up for you because She has some very, very, very spicy things to say to Mr.
Muy
Mr. Snake Eyes
picante.
himself. Yeah, it's something nice. I liked it. It was so good. It got his own block. So I'm trying to find it
Senor Snake.
here. Here we
Oh
go.
man.
You ready? She
Yeah.
went on DNA show and said, "I will embarrass Snake Eyes. I don't like him for real. He does a lot of bitch ass behind the scenes,
Whoa.
and I really want to battle him."
Whoa.
Now,
Get out of here.
yeah,
Damn, son. That sounds
right?
hella personal, man.
That's I'm here for the mess. Okay.
What?
And
Yeah. Are you?
oh,
There's a lot of mess going on in battle rap these
I'm here
past
for
2
I'm here
days.
for mess that's inside the ring. Okay, you
Okay,
know what
all
I'm
right, all
saying?
right, all right,
Because
all
there's a
right,
lot of
all
mess
right.
outside of the ring that I don't necessarily agree with. You know what I'm saying? People playing with the conspiracy balls. We're gonna leave that alone.
Hey, don't even, you know what I'm saying? You do it too much already, friend.
All right,
You
that's
do
enough.
it
That's
too
enough.
much.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. But
You do it too much.
I did more than I needed to. But Snake Eyes responds
Hey,
to Coffee
yo,
Brown
let's
and
go.
says, "I would love to battle Coffee on his
Mm,
upcoming outside card. Set it up.
mm.
Set it up. Snake Eyes versus Coffee Brown, Vlad. Is this a battle you need it like?"
France, like you said, man, this battle has all sorts of mess written around it that I am here for. As long as you wrap that mess up in some dope lyrics, some dope bars, some dope punchlines and stuff. But there's a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And Coffee Brown, coming off that thrashing that she got from Twork, there's no other way to put it. I think, she learned a lesson. Hopefully she got the rust off and she gets a crack at another stage, France. You know what I'm saying? Back-to-back battles. So you gotta bring that stage presence, man. Like the writing is not gonna be enough. It's not enough to just be a writer. Like you're gonna have to perform for sure, for sure. And you're gonna have to be able to display that aggression up there that she always displays when she's battling like one-on-one on the floor, pit style and stuff like that. But I don't know if it was just the return. I don't know if it was because she was facing someone who's just so damn aggressive, explosive, and not only that, this fool is like 6'4", you know what I'm saying, 300 pounds versus this young lady, you know what I mean, out there and stuff like that. So it definitely looked a lot different. But from what she said about Snake, I'm like, damn, that sounds hella personal. You know what I mean?
She sounds like she got something to say. Look, man,
Right.
I said it last time after Coffee and Twork. I have Twork win the battle clearly, but it was Coffee's debut on the big stage in a battle that I had no anticipation for her to win against somebody who has been the best performer for the last 3-4 Euro events now. Like Twork is just that good and scary, and it was her first time that I'm willing to say, can we spin the block and just see what this looks like again when
Well, the
you
block has been spun.
when you lower the tone of competition, you know what I'm saying? So like I want to see Coffee Brown against Snake Eyes on the stage. I also definitely want to see her against a lady on the stage as well before I'm ready to just completely say, "Oh,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
can't attack."
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna write her off. I can give her a few chances. You know what I'm saying? We give other people some chances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This I ain't gonna say no names. You know what I'm saying? But there's some mid tiers that people in this organization
Relax.
love.
Oh my
There's some
gosh,
mid-tiers
man.
people in this organization love that gets their chest kicked in every other weekend, and they give them
They
all the
want to see
chances in the
them.
world.
Yo, man, he's too. I gotta call him out, man. Titus and Q, man. You guys love this one particular mid-tier ragamuffin who gets his back kicked in every single battle, and yet you guys constantly want to see this fool get another chance and another shot and another shot. And I'm like, why do you want to see this mid-tier mediocrity? You know what I'm
Yeah, so
saying?
we're protecting the rapper's name because the rapper doesn't deserve this. This is actually for Titus and Q. All right, this
He
is for y'all.
does deserve it because he's been very mediocre, but we're gonna be the
Yeah,
professional bowls, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But this also will be Snake Eyes' first chance to battle a woman. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I was just going through his resume. He has not battled a woman. I was just
Yeah,
about
he
to
has
say that.
not battled a woman, so she will pop his cherry, you know what I mean,
Hey,
in a very
yo,
freaky way. Hey, yo. But this battle could go all kinds of ways, man. And We've seen Snake Eyes talk to the ladies before and stuff like that, and sometimes he could have a lot to say. And what better way to get all of that verbal aggression out than to get it out on that stage? Why am I frozen?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you're frozen. Go ahead and leave and come back. But I'm just
I'll
gonna
be
go ahead.
right back, man. Hold it down. Put POP. Hold it down. I'll be right back.
You. All I'm gonna say is this: URL booked this battle yesterday. I want this battle. It's a battle I need and like. I want to see Coffee Brown make the adjustments on the stage. I want to see Snake Eyes in another battle that creates some controversy and entertainment. Snake Eyes is good for it. Coffee Brown is good for it. I respect Snake Eyes as a competitor. I definitely respect Coffee Brown as a competitor. I think they can make the battle very, very, very salacious, suspenseful, dramatic, but also respect the boundaries that is required to complete a professional rap battle. So I want that battle. I want that battle. Wait for my man Vlad to pull back in here, man. And shit, while we're waiting for Vlad, you know what I'm saying? I can finish telling you guys about my weekend with A.Ward and Saga, man. Let me tell you something, man. These Christians, I got to watch them prepare. I got to watch them finish the round. I got to watch them rehearse the round all night long. You know what I'm saying? It's really interesting to see the moments where like some of them messed up or the transitions that they like started to enhance and build on and them sharpening their performance. And like these guys have to always kind of like they have to start to routinely practicing delivering these things in that mode so that when it's time to execute, it's just as crispy as you practice it. Okay, Vlad's back. Vlad, I'm just telling people a little bit more about my Saga and Ward weekend, about how I got to watch them prepare and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Norbs It All podcast, we are back.
Oh, no.
Friends, I gotta tell you, I got this freaking MacBook Pro I paid all this money for, and things always crashing on me, friend. I don't know what's going on. I gotta check it out, make sure Beasley didn't set this up for me, pre-program it. Gotta block my camera,
Please don't mention that blogger anymore.
Relax, man, relax.
All right.
Now, all right, so we moved on to your weekend with Christian Rock.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty much telling people a little bit about how it was interesting and fascinating to watch them kind of finish the round. Obviously, they were done writing it, but Saga still kept adding on to it, and watch them execute and sharpen the performance. Like, they were practicing for hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You sent me the little video clip of when they were performing all the gun bars and stuff like that, and you had your reactions. Fire! You're the greatest in the world.
All right,
and then, I was like, okay, it's dope to see them do it in the living room, practice in the living room, and then you sent me the clip of when they actually performed those same bars at the battle, and it was like, yo, it landed just how they anticipated. Like your reactions, the crowd reacted to the parts that you were reacting to also. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was like an interesting chance to see an actual litmus test happen. Because sometimes you'll hear bars, you might react to them in a certain way, and then when they actually do battle, it's kind of like, huh? Like it just falls flat. But to see them get the same reaction was kind of like, oh, well, it's kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was kind of interested, man. But
there was one part of the weekend I didn't get a chance to tell you about.
Oh, please do tell.
So it hasn't come out yet. It's gonna drop real soon on 15 Minutes of Fame. But Saturday afternoon, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the pod, obviously Saga went to Flint, so they can't rehearse anymore. And Ward's just kicking it. He wants to go around Jersey. I'm like, nah, man, let's take advantage of this time. Let's go make some content. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm the manager bull. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go.
So let me get this straight. So Ward lands, you know what I'm saying? He's kicking it with you. Yeah. He wants to go, instead of, taking care of business, he want to go bar hopping in Jersey.
Oh, you know it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, let's take care of business first, and then we can go bar hopping in Jersey.
Oh, okay. He wants to evangelize in the pubs.
But before we do that,
while drinking,
I give a call. I give a call to Mr. Uncle Ra. You know what I'm saying? Mr. 15 Minutes of Fame himself.
Turn the radio up.
Shout out to Uncle Ra. And then
that's my motherfucking man right there.
I tell him I'm with A.Ward, and I'm like, can we pull up? And he goes, yeah, bring him over, man. I do need my computer fixed. Bring him on over. I do need my computer fixed.
Yeah, you make him sound like some kind of mafia boss.
But the best part about it is, though, before I hang up the phone, Uncle Raw, he goes, "But I just gotta let you guys know, I do got Eazy here. You know what I'm saying? We're doing an interview, so we could do something right afterwards, and maybe you guys
Birdman
could come in.
hand rub.
You guys could come and crash the interview." And I'm like, "What are you trying to?
And crash the
Is
party.
this the ball? Is this the ball you want to?"
The
You know
white
what I'm
ball.
saying? And so Eazy crashes his interview. I'm sorry, A.Ward crashes Eazy interview. Me and War walk in. Eazy sees me. He's like, "Oh, that's a good manager you got there." And War goes, "Hey, yeah, you too."
My rebuttal game crazy.
So then Ward, Uncle Rock gets off the desk. He's like, "Ward, sit on the desk." And so Ward's sitting on the desk where Uncle Ra would sit, and Easy's on the chair. And then they're just having a discussion about everything. They talk
Look
about
like a job interview.
At first, it was like an interview. Then they talked about them battling. They went back and forth. They talked about what they would do to each other if they battled, like who has the upper advantage. Then it kind of leaned into like their mutual respect for each other, which was really dope. Then they talked a little bit about discrepancies they had with each other. How Ward's called him out. He was like, "You're not the most popular battle rapper. You're the hottest." He was like, "I'm popular. I'm popular. I'm number one right now." And then Ward, and then Ward's like, "You were number one at Chrome." He's like, "Yeah, but that's on this article. That's on Let's Talk Battle Rap article. That's your manager." And then Ward's like,
compromised media.
Ward's like, but Remy gave me the performance of the night. She said most impressed with me.
Hello.
So,
Yo, listen, man. The talk different, man. The talk, your war talk spicy, man. You know what I'm saying? And Eazy is Mr. Talk Different himself. I can't wait to see this because A.Ward don't back down from no damn argument. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen him argue with the best of them. And sometimes he gets the best of them. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting for that episode to drop, man. That's what I'm waiting on because this interview has been, the interview he's been doing with Rise it's been a little tame, you know what I mean? Because he's had a pretty busy week interviewing everybody, all the media.
Nice little photo.
Look at that.
And,
it looks like they're battling already.
Let me tell you something. I got a little snippet here.
Let me tell you how one-dimensional it is. Big K beat the shit out of you. Big K was beating the shit out you with that one-dimensional shit. So what's the difference of, because listen, respectfully, I think you great. Now, mind you, Big K is the best Big K you've seen in 5 years. Easy. It was a good Big K. No, it was a great Big K. I've seen it's the best Big K we've seen in probably 5 years, bro.
That's enough there. So I don't get, Uncle Rod, don't kill me, Uncle Rod. This is part of my content
like,
too,
"Hey,
Uncle Rod.
friends, I let you come to my studio, and this is how you do me." Okay.
I played the proper number, right? I played 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
It's funny because
algorithm bowl.
when they were having this back, like I mentioned, the back and forth like went some different directions from like different topics, regular conversation, giving each other respect, competitive talk. It varied in so many different ways, and at one point, Eazy keeps asking A.Ward questions, and then A.Ward decides to ask Eazy questions, and Uncle Rod's like, he puts his dollar sign up and walks away from the camera. He walks out the room. He's like, "This is content making itself." I'm like,
I hope you get a cut, friends. You know what I'm saying? Get your little 5% of it.
Uncle Rod took care of the bull. Uncle Rod took care of the bull.
All right. He had some lasagna and all that, stuffed shells.
Yeah, I can't say what he had, bro.
Some maragot.
So ultimately, I'll be honest, this isn't a battle I want now, because I feel like they both have different missions at the time period. But I think it's intriguing because you remember 2 years ago, shouts to New Era, shouts to Ben, Eazy and A.Ward had a face-off on their platform before Eazy had touched the main stage yet, and this was after A.Ward battle Will. So Eazy's calling all the UM1 pandemic Peachtree dishes. Remember that? and so he kind of like had this like carrot to like dangle over all these guys. Like, you guys haven't rocked the big stage yet.
Right.
And then Eazy has the chess battle, and then they're like looking at each other like mutually like in this real competitive spirit. And I've always seen like when I talk to Eazy, he's always has things to say about A.Ward. When I talk to A.Ward, he has things to say about Eazy. And I kind of love how competitive they are separately. but I've also really admired how much respect they've gained for each other along the way. Because after the Nitty battle, Eazy's like, "Look, man, I got to give it up. This guy's undeniable. He's not even on URL doing all this." And it was like
Foreshadowing.
it was just like, hey, you're on one of the best ones I've ever seen too, And then obviously at Chrome, they both were 1A, 1B. You can obviously argue Eazy had better performance or better material. I think you could argue Eazy had better material, Ward had better performance. I think it's just that simple.
I think it's yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
see
I
what
feel
you're
like
saying.
they both completed different objectives, but the purpose is they were the two best battle rappers on that stage.
Right.
And so, interestingly enough, like you believe this is an interesting fact. They've been on a Cody list together for 3 years, and all 3 years, A-Ward's never ranked ahead of Eazy.
Oh, hey. That's a caveat I didn't know. All right. Listen, man, these two are now the independent bulls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Before you go, I wanted to ask you about this. So here's the two questions I want to ask you. One, what do you think about them potentially battling, even though it wouldn't be anytime soon? And two, what do you think about both of these guys being the forefront for battle rap empowerment and independence?
I mean, them battling for the King of Chrome is going to be fantastic. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Remy is doing the Birdman rub hands right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Rock gave it a heads up and I was like, I got something nice for you coming down the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at this. I think it'll be a dope battle. I mean, the contrast and styles will be fantastic. I think the stage could break in half, man. Like, I mean, we saw what Ward did. We saw what Eazy did, you know what I'm saying? So put that up against one another, and you got a potential ridiculous battle. So I'm definitely here for the battle. And I think their road to independence, though, not the road to independence, the route now that they're both on this, independent route. It's two different styles though, because one did it without the help of the URL cartel at all, and the other one,
has like almost transcended past it.
Yeah, but the claim to fame was made on that platform. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that, well, the machine helped propel you. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Eazy did all of the legwork that needed to be done. He delivered every time that they called on him. He, picked his matches. He was very smart about it, did all the outside work. So I want everybody to get that part. I'm not saying the machine just put the battery like, hey, guys, we pick Eazy. And then all of a sudden, all the spectators said, he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? He put his work in. So I want to put that out there. But you got to look at it from the other hand. A-Ward's never been on that league. He's actually used that league as marketing from not being on it. Every time there's something to be said, here comes A-Ward. Hey guys, remember me? I'm gonna chime in and then leave. You know what I'm saying? And then he's in that algorithm. You know what I mean? Like all over again and stuff. So and Eazy battles 4 times a year. A-Ward's battling, every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like every 2 weeks he's on the road. You know what I'm saying? Packing his bag and living out of a suitcase in a hotel from city to city, titty to titty. You know what I mean? So, it's two different, completely different paths, but now they're at the same place. They can battle wherever. Well, it's yet to be seen. You know what I'm saying? But it's that looks like that's the direction of where things are going. You know what I'm saying? That it's like, hey, I can battle where I want to, when I want to, who I want to. And but it's two completely different paths. I don't think we can compare them at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but they're both here now. They're both here. So, but the battle is definitely a battle I want to see, though, for sure.
Two completely different paths, yet very interestingly aligned in a mutual
I think the mindset is there. Yeah, the mindset is like
Yeah.
the same mindset right now. You know what I mean? They're both at that same mindset of, I don't want anyone to tie me down. I don't want to be limited to battle at anywhere. I want everything laid out in front of me. I want to know who I'm battling. I want to know who the next person. If you want me in a 3 battle deal, I need to know who the 3 people are, and this is my pay range that I want for these 3 battles, and this is the time frame that I want these battles in. You know what I'm saying? I think they're both very clear in what they want and how they want to go about their business. And I think they're both up here. They both mentally like tied into that. I definitely see that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, greatness starts with like a clear vision of the future, and the future's vision for them is just a picture of what their passion can produce. You know what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
obviously, the path is completely different for both, but I feel like they are in that same direction, and now they kind of look at each other like level headed, and they're like grown the level of mutual respect. Like they had a competitive spirit and a respect as peers as far as their pen and their talent. Then they grew a deeper level of respect as far as, hey, we both were on the same court. I dropped 40, 12, and 15, and you dropped 42, 10, and 13. Like we were right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's the
And
bit. No, sorry. Go
and and
ahead.
and more importantly, um I think it's really intriguing that at one point in time, War goes, "You are just following the foundation, something that I've been preaching for years about, not going into certain contracts, being independent, YouTube drops, et cetera." And so then they both started having a little bit of banter about it. And then, they couldn't help but take shots at the URL app, of course, right? A-Ward's like, the YouTube app actually updates. Have you seen it? It's nice, right?
Oh man,
And it's like,
relax,
and
man.
they both were like, I'm like, all right, see, can y'all both focus on each other
Relax,
like for a
man.
minute? You know what I'm saying?
Relax.
Can I leave the league out of it? But I, you know, well,
I
I don't
mean,
know
yo,
when
this is our battle rap version of Bird and Magic. You
yeah,
know what
I
I'm
don't know when
saying?
we'll see it, but I just love the competitiveness and the mutual respect that's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, battle
And that
rap
was the
Bird
first
and
time ever being on
Magic
a card together. That
together.
Chrome 23. That was the first time ever sharing the stage. So
Yeah. Oh
uh,
man,
I do want
my
to say
rap
though,
battle game crazy.
interestingly enough, A-Ward asked Eazy this question. Um, he asked him, "How much percentage do you credit URL for your success?" And I didn't
Mhm.
know Uncle Ra actually asked Eazy that same question too because he answered it prior to A-Ward getting there. I just seen the interview, and he also answered it with A-Ward, so he answered it twice that day. But he says he gives about, on a scale of 1 to 10, he gives about 2.5, so a quarter of his success
Mm.
is accredited to URL because he breaks it down in the mindset of, you booked the battle for me, but I have to rehearse, write, and perform. So out of those four areas, you're only capable of affecting one. The other three is all on me.
I mean, look, when you put in a vacuum and preface it with that, I understand where he's coming from. But when you put it into a sense of reality and what grows that name for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like, you gotta bust it down the line. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, people really underestimate like what a good promotional machine will do for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the difference between being on a major label and an independent label. Like these major labels, they literally can push the button on you and push the button, and then all of a sudden you're on all these radio stations and stuff like that. Whereas if you're an independent artist, you might have the same exact record, but sometimes you just can't break through. The radio is just like, yo, man, like, nah, we can't play it. We're obligated to play these other records here. Or, you just can't get onto the David Letterman show, or you can't get onto, all these other big shows and stuff like that. Or you can't do a summer jam or something of that nature. But sometimes you're on that major label and it's like doors just magically open up for you. You still gotta have the fire records and stuff like that, but it's like, let's not underestimate what a good promotional machine can do for you. You know what I mean? But, it's closer to 50-50 for me because they put in a lot of work. He put in a lot of work. But I do understand what he's saying, because if he's ass and he's not remembering these rhymes and he's not delivering them right, it's like, as much promotion as you want to put into somebody, it's just not going to be received quite as well. And then they might just have to shelf you. You know what I'm saying? But there has been circumstances, and I ain't going to drop no names, you know what I'm saying, where MC has dropped the ball over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But they're so damn popular by that point from being on that machine that it's like they continuously get chances over and over again to win that audience back. Whereas if you just an independent dude who's just out there, you may not even get a chance to get back to that point or get to that point. You feel me? So I wouldn't underestimate the power of the machine. But the way he put it, if you're categorizing it into four things, then yeah, it makes sense because he categorized it into those 4 things. But when you step back and you look at the grander picture, for me, like they get more percentage than that. You know what I'm saying?
I think so too. And I want to shout out again senior staff writer Q for his piece. This is bigger than Eazy versus URL. Now, this is a great
Amazing
chance.
piece, man.
This is a great chance to actually mention it and talk about it because in
And go
his
read
entire
it on letstalkbattlerap.com, please.
yes, absolutely. This is an extensive, well thought out piece that he's been working on for weeks, and it came out beautifully. And pretty
Absolutely.
much the piece is comparing the parallels of reminiscent disputes that we see in the NBA between demanding trades and having issues with their contracts, or seeing certain artists try to buy out their masters of publishing. This is the battle rap version of it right now, right? With the equivalent to like what's going on with Eazy, the biggest star that URL's created in the last couple years, and the success that Eazy's had on the league in comparison to what he wants for himself right now, that he feels will transcend him to higher heights. And while if he breaks down the metric of the actual performance between the 4 things he listed, being booked, writing, memorizing, and performing, I can see where the 25% comes in. But you made a great point about, what the empire can provide to you. You know what I'm saying? The empire can provide to you forefront opportunities that it's like you are working for and you are deserving it. And because you don't have to be babied, coddled, and you are outperforming every single time you touch on the stage, it makes it easier for us to put another legend on your name, put another legend on the name, put another legend on your name. You know what I'm saying? Right. But don't, keep in mind, 2 out of his 12 battles, 10 of them were on caffeine. You know what I'm saying? So
live streamed, yeah,
with over 80%
for free,
yeah, with
for
over 80% of your battles being on caffeine. Make sure it's whatever, 9 or 10. I'll make sure I got the number right.
Whatever it is, yeah.
All I'm saying
the majority of them, yeah.
Majority of your battles are on caffeine, right? And that is in itself a phenomenal opportunity when you think about the caffeine roster and people that don't get all the opportunities to be on caffeine. And it kind of like puts you in a great position to parlay into other things that you have going on for yourself now. Like, more importantly, Fresh Prince happened from your battle at Gnome, right? Because the film director was there at Gnome 11 when he saw the Rex battle. If Rex can't make the battle or the battle doesn't get booked, do you still get that same opportunity? Right. So like that's something that like is a domino effect of what the league was able to create. Obviously, also Eazy had a caffeine deal. You know what I'm saying? That streaming is great. Shit, we here. You know what I'm saying? We get caffeine money. So like I'm not saying it needs to be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? I'm A-okay with him saying I put in the work individually to be here. I need more credit. That's fine. I just think 25% was a little too low. And
but here's why I say 50-50 though. I mean, or close to it, right? Yeah. Because even though he's made his exodus, from URL, it's not like he's saying, "Yo, I'm gonna go full independent, throw my own events, set it up myself, book everybody else, and take that shot and bet on me and be the 100% boss." You feel me? It's still going to another promotional company. Still going to Chrome, another promotional company who's headed by one of the top female rappers ever. You know what I'm saying? Who's got all sorts of ties, who knows how to market and promote, who's getting you onto all of these major platforms. You know what I'm saying? To talk your talk. The man's been on Joe Budden's twice already. This guy just got ranked by Complex as the #1 podcast again. You feel me? Like, this doesn't necessarily just happen without the help of people pushing things along. Hitman is Hitman, so I could see him landing on a Jason Lee. But I say that to say this: Remy did a lot of promotion to get that joint out there. You know what I'm saying? And let's say he goes to RBE. RBE is another super established brand that has a lot of loyal followers and stuff like that. The platform is laid out. People trust it. Things are ran smoothly. So when a battle is booked there, the excitement is there. Now I look at, like when Geechi decided, hey man, I'm gonna do the riot and I'm gonna book a couple of my him versus A.Ward was a big battle. You know what I'm saying? That's a big battle that could have happened on RBE or somewhere or whatever. But Geechi said, you know what? I'm gonna put it on my platform. I'm gonna take that risk I'm going to promote the event. I'm going to, go on my podcast week after week, promote this, get this out, and take the chance and, partner up with Ruin Your Day, throw on a dope ass stream, make sure everything is super crispy and all that. And I'm going to reap all the benefits and rewards. Now, even Geechi's not going to battle every single time on his league because he understands too, like, yo, you need the proper settings for certain battles. You know what I'm saying? So as much as there's an independence going on, it's still not truly an independent thing because you're still relying on other leagues to market and promote this and to get the customer base to say, I trust in what's gonna happen.
He does do a lot of marketing on his own.
Right, but I'm saying it's listen, we've seen people try to do things on their own battle, and then go book a big venue and stuff like that, and the turnout is not always the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Until that's done repeatedly, you can't underestimate what a league brings to the table itself. Now, if Eazy says, yo, my next 5 battles, it's on the Bull Battle League, and he's like, I'm gonna, rent out a 1,500, seat venue in Philadelphia, in Massachusetts, in Arizona, in Florida, in Michigan, and you sell out every single time, then I'll say, yo, he got it. The Bull got it. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the cartel, URL cartel, they go all across the country and sell them things out. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Plus, obviously the cards are stacked and things of that nature. So, if Eazy was to do all that, he'd have to put together a whole card and all that. You know what I mean? But there's still the league. You know what I mean?
I got the number here. All right. So Eazy's been on caffeine 11 times, if you also include Double Impact, and a total of 13 battles on the league. So 84% of his catalog is on caffeine, which is the highest percentage of anybody else on the league. And he is ranked 7th in total caffeine appearances, only behind Rum Nitty, Geechi Gotti, JC, Danny Myers, Swamp, Real Sick. Keep in mind that 5 of those names made it to a Final Four finals of the tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like,
take that for what it's worth. Yeah. Stat pad.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro.
Stat pad. Yeah.
So with you having the highest percentage of caffeine appearances from your catalog, you only being behind 5 people that were in tournaments. Some of them were in 2 tournaments, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Geechi and I'm one of the.
I get the URL obviously didn't do the YouTube thing, which is something he really wanted. And shout out to Q. Q did have a conversation with Eazy. He mentions in the piece that at some point in time, this kind of did become like a contingency plan for Eazy. You know what I'm saying? Because he really wanted the chess battle to drop when he made his debut on Peacock, a streaming app that has over 5 million subscribers. So the spillover for that is massive, to the point we've seen it on social media, Vlad. People were like, is that Rashad? And didn't even know he was Eazy the Block Captain. So I get why he wanted those 2 things to coincide. And Eazy pretty much probably thought in his head, like, okay, well, there may be a day where I'm going to pivot from all this. And regardless of how you feel about how he did it, I'll say this much. The man is an extreme superstar talent. You know what I'm saying? He works his tail off. He has a great story. But personally, for me, I would have to at least give URL a little bit more than 25% of his success. That's just me. You know, maybe 30, 70, maybe no more than 40, 60 for sure, right? But like I will give a little bit more than a quarter. That's just me.
I feel you, though. All right.
Hey, but before we get off the Let's Talk Eazy podcast, because we still got some more things to go. Can I tell you about some matches that are on the horizon for Eazy? People,
let's go, man.
Opponents that he's been flirting with on the timeline. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's see.
All right. Well, first let's start with this. Shout out to Tata, staff reporter at LTBR, sent me some interesting Ill Will quotes. Ill Will had some things to say about Mr. Block Captain. Let me read this to you, sir. He says, end quote, I'm enjoying Eazy's path right now. I'm very happy for him. I would like to watch that fun from this side, because I would hate for Eazy to come across my desk. Whatever streak he's on, he definitely won't have after me.
Okay. That's a battle I'm here for, man. That's a battle I'm here for. I think we spoke. We kind of spoke about that battle on the live stream, man, on the caffeine stream, and
Yeah, we did.
that's a difficult battle, man, because like I said, Ill Will is just so well versed and just so many different ways that he could attack. And a lot of Easy's thing is narrative driven and story driven, and like there's a lot of build up and stuff like that. And with Ill Will, there's it's like there's less to latch on to, and it just becomes more of like a barroom brawl. You know what I'm saying? And Ill Will can attack from so many different angles that is definitely a battle that would be a challenging one for Eazy the Block Captain for sure.
Okay, here's another one. I seen. Let me see if
Seen,
I seen. Let me see if I can get the
my eyes have
exact.
seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I get the exact tweets up here. All right, Mr. Shotty Horroh.
Oh,
It's going back and forth with Mr. Eazy the Block Captain on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And Eazy the Shotty Horror said, perfect matchup to Eazy the Block Captain after Eazy had a bunch of eyeball emojis to Organic's tweet about a long overdue return for Shotty Horror in Toronto is needed. Who will be a top opponent for him? So Eazy chimes in. Shotty says, clicks knuckles. You know what I'm saying? Eazy asked him, "You ever sold drugs before?" Shotty says, "No comment." Eazy goes, "Yeah,
Smart answer.
and then Eazy goes, "You definitely ready for this talk?" I like the response. Let's line it up. Perfect battle for my King of the Dot debut. Hey,
Weird question, smart answer. You know what I mean? Wow. That's not a battle that I would have thought that I would be seeing anytime soon. It's not a battle that ever crossed my mind really, but as we just seen, man, Shotty just put on a classic with Shuffle T, yo. And don't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Do not sleep. And as much as you're beloved on this side, Shotty got them other balls on his side in the palm of his hands. You know what I'm saying? So it will be interesting, man, seeing like it would be interesting seeing how that King of the Dot, crowd and would react to Eazy the Block Captain. Obviously, they're used to all kinds of bars now, so it's not like a big culture shock or anything like that anymore. But it's like Shotty is definitely a favorite over there. You know what I mean? So it would be an interesting battle. And Shotty is way more than a formidable opponent. He's a world class
hey,
MC.
did you see that flyer I made on April Fools about all the
I
not fake
did.
news?
I
We had
did.
one
I
from
loved it.
Mr. We had one from Mr. Easy, the Black Captain here said not fake news. I'm gonna read it to you guys. It says, "Yeah, I got out my URL contract and I signed a 3 battle deal with RBE, but I'm about to get out that contract too and sign with King of the Dot because I'm the bull." Is this the bull? It's April Fools, y'all. It's not a real quote, so take it easy.
Oh
But
man.
um, hey,
Easy goes. Is that supposed to
maybe
be funny? Yes, man. Laugh. Relax, bro.
maybe a little bit of truth sprinkled in that because I like that exchange on the timeline. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm here for Easy making the King of the Dot debut against Shotty Horror
Can no contract hold me down? Oh no. I got to keep on moving.
because
Yeah, it's a
I'm
good
the
battle, man.
bull.
'Cause I'm the bull.
Because I'm the
That's a
bull.
t-shirt right there.
All right, and the
I'm the bull.
last I guess possible match. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily want this match personally, but we did see John the Don make the $50,000 challenge, money on the floor for Eazy the Block Captain. How you feel about that being possible battle on Bullpen's anniversary in October? 50K on the floor.
I like the matchup in a weird roundabout way, man. I do like the matchup. I think the rollout for some reason, I don't know, man. It feels like the rollout is just not well received. I feel like, by some other media folks and stuff like that. But let me get out
Yeah,
the negative bag. I think it's competitive. I think the chance of someone leaving there empty-handed definitely raises the stakes. It's not like these guys have not been going back and forth, you know what I'm saying, about this battle. So it's something that's been brewing for a while. And it's like, yo, man, I mean, you either win the 50 or you get nothing to go home. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting battle. John John's putting on his league. Once again, we've been talking about independence all this time, and what's more independent than this? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like it kind of brings it home all the way around the board, you know?
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about, I guess, the last couple of years of John John, right? And let's go a little bit far back, like the end of 2019, right? He had the Shotty horror battle. He didn't get that much love out there, but we had him losing that battle. Young Ill battle, which you probably won and has never seen the light of day. Actually, I heard
Right.
for Street Status is charging $2,000-$3,000 for that battle, so maybe we might fund it and get that battle. I don't know. We'll see what's up. But outside the Jerry West and Chess battle, good performances from him. The Ill Will battle, man. Ill Will kind of feasted on John John, man. You know what I'm saying? Ace, I mean, and John John had a real competitive, debatable battle. It's not clear either way, but Ace was a rookie first time on the stage, and John John had all the home court advantage you could ask for. Sue Surf put John John in a different planet and had one of the largest margin of victories on the app statistically against John John. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Then I have John John losing to Chef Trez. And so when I look at the trajectory of some of these battles, of course, he has a different conversation with Eazy. He's a super tacticianist. He's a great angler. He feels like he has the game plan for Eazy that nobody else has. But right now, I'm looking at the track record of what I'm seeing. It's like I haven't seen any of these performances from you recently that I could say would compete with Eazy. I know you probably could say, are you only going to look at the negative or are you going to look at what my ceiling could be? Yeah, you're right. I could look at the Jack Boy, the chess battle, the prep battle, the read battle. But all those guys in the position they were is not where Eazy is. He's a superstar. I feel like sometimes John John has an issue with people that are superstars that are very fan favorited. K Shine, Sue Surf, New Jersey Twork, you know what I'm saying? Ill Will during that run in 2020. So even Chef Trez in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's still a competitive battle. But the point I'm saying is right now the people love Eazy the Block Captain. He's in his prime. He's performing at an MVP level. So I haven't seen a John John as of lately that could compete with that. And I'm not so confident to say, okay, you have the game plan that everybody else thinks they didn't.
You know what's crazy? For the same reason why I like the battle is the reason why I don't like the battle. It's because John John is like, it's like he almost needs this as a motivation to do a fire battle. You know what I'm saying? And I get nervous when MCs be like, "Oh, I need this, to get me hyped for that." You know what I'm saying? Whereas Easy's just like, set the battle up and I'm going to be as good as I'm ever going to be, better than my last battle, because I'm just in that mode no matter what. Like, no matter who it is, I'm just always going to be the best version of me because this is just the mode I'm in. This is how I've trained myself to be. I don't need any outside forces to make me more hype for the battle than it's just intrinsic at this point. It's just something that's within. It's almost like he's possessed to be the best, so it's like I get it from a marketing standpoint, like, okay, if I market it this way, people will see the 50 racks on the floor. I'll be forced to have like great material because it'll be a little embarrassing losing 50 racks on your own home court. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you need all of those to get you into the headspace of writing the best stuff to beat Eazy, it's kind of like, man, like it's almost like starting off the battle with a deficit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this guy's like, I'm just gonna show up and be the best me that I've been. People love me. You know what I'm saying? So
I also just feel like I mean you and I aren't buying so much into the way the public feels about the battle. Obviously, it's a battle that if it happens, we're here for it.
Yeah.
And it's a great, and John John is an immaculate name to put on your resume. I just think right now, as far as the level of performance they have been at over the last couple of years, Eazy has been at a higher level than John John for the last 2-3 years. And more importantly, if we're gonna remove our opinion on that just from the way they're perceived online, I almost this might be a narrative flash, so I apologize, but I kind of feel like the people wouldn't give John John a fair shake. Every time you mention this battle, they like rebuke it sometimes.
Yeah. And to be fair, it's not everyone, but yeah, man. Good luck, bro. Good luck, man. You booked that battle because this dude
And then
is.
also you got to add on to the ideology of like the chase curse, right? Where there's like I'm not saying John chasing the battle. John wants
Now
smoke.
you remember his name was dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Name
So
was yeah,
it's
so
not a
he's
chase. You
it's
know what I
not a
mean?
chase. It's not a chase, but at this point he's definitely pursuing it more than Easy.
I
You
mean,
know,
I look at it as marketing. He's got a league. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If this guy's the hottest dude out there, I get a chance to put, you know, my bullpen bulls out there and get to market the hell out of this thing and bring all the eyes over to my league. You know what I'm
Now
saying? And on top of that, what kind of pay-per-view numbers you doing? You know,
on
John is a business man and he's taking an independent route with it and he can flip a bag on this one too. So
on the plus side of
smart
John,
marketing.
on
Hmm.
the plus side of John, I will say, even though there's been a handful of performances that we just listed that I felt was more on the downtrend from over the last couple years, all downtrends come to an end at some point, right, Vlad? Like,
Yeah.
you know, at some point, the
the,
market
ba-
shifts
the
and everything
bear
turns
run
around.
has to stop at some point, man. The bear
the
market
ble-
has to end. Yeah.
yes, the bull market has to come in at some point.
Hello. Bars.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Bars.
I do think that even if it's not easy, John is 100% due for a much better performance than we
More
probably have
bars.
seen lately, or that we're anticipating for him. You know what I'm saying? And will it be against Easy next? Will it be against somebody different? I don't know. Remains to be seen, like fossils in museums. But um,
Hey, man. France, that all makes sense like pocket change, baby. You know what I'm saying?
feel me? But before we close the pod, Vlad, there is another battle with money on the floor implications that also
Ooh.
kind of has John attached to it. So I see where John's getting this money on the floor energy. He's probably
Hello.
got it he's got it for his main event, so he wants to apply it to himself as well. And I feel like maybe after he sees it firsthand between Geechi Gotti and Bad Newz, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, put that 50 on the floor." You know what I'm saying? So
20 racks on the floor, man.
listen, man, let me go ahead and make the news for this. Bad Newz went on Angry Fan. Excuse me.
You all right there,
Excuse me.
man?
Yeah, I had
You
to
need a
yawn.
little maca with the ashwagandha. You need player?
Yeah. It's almost about that time. But Bad Newz is on Angry Fan and says that NFL wide receiver McCole Hardman, who was on Kansas City and now has been traded to the Jets, has put down 10K on the floor for the Bad Newz and Geechi Gotti battle. And Geechi Gotti has decided to match the
Match that
stakes.
10.
And so now there's going to be 20K on the floor between their battle.
Yo, France, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
Geechee could have easily said, all right, man, football player want to drop 10? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Left it at that and battled. France, he's throwing his own 10 on top of this, man. That lets me know he's not going to be playing. And we saw what he did to that dude in Staten Island, France.
I saw what he did to Feeble.
Come on, France. Yo, that was an all-star round he performed, man.
Yo, he gave Feeble more effort than he did Murder Mook. Like, yeah, for real. Like, he was really fire against people. I didn't understand it.
Yo, you ain't lying about that one. You are not lying. He actually did give he was more energy than he moved.
Right?
That's crazy. Geechee, what are you doing? You man said, Urban Plaza, Murder Mook, whatever. You man said, Staten Island, 50 people, feeble. I'm bringing it.
Game 6, Clay Thompson.
He went crazy, son. I think Geechee's had enough of everyone just being like, yeah, you know, he's just showing up, he's doing his thing. It's cool, but it ain't like the Geechee that we're used to and stuff like that. Hey, I mean, hell, man, people get tired. You know what I'm saying? People get tired, and the man put in a lot of work. And sometimes you just need a chance to rejuvenate yourself. And I think he hears the people, and I think you get tired of hearing that, and you know how great you can be. You know what I'm saying? So I think that feeble performance was just a sneak peek, man. I think we're about to see 3-round Geechee for this battle, man, because he could have easily just said, all right, man, 10K on the floor. It's not my money. If I lose, whatever, it ain't like I lost. You know what I mean? But the man is willing to bet on himself and throw that bread out there. I'm sorry. After that performance in Staten Island, man. Oh my gosh, man. I'm excited for this battle. I'm telling you that much, man. I will be watching that pay-per-view on April 15th, man. And I
Me
can't
too.
wait to see
I
this
can't
battle,
wait.
son. I
We will be
can't wait,
covering.
man. 3-round Geech. I can't wait, bro.
We're going to be covering that card more extensively when the time gets closer. But I do want to say that you look at Geechi's track record in judge battles. I mean, like he has a phenomenal track record on being able to win in the moment, win on the spot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know Trufo pulled an all-time upset, but let's not forget that Trufo damn near almost fumbled the pack and won by the fan vote. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
split
yeah.
decision. All it took was one of those judges to feel differently, or maybe the fans that day would have liked Geechi more because Geechi was more of a fan favorite, and the Trufo battles, and so I'm saying, like, even in a world where he did get upsetted, he very easily could have won the battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Geechi Gotti with money on the line and in a judge environment is a very, very, and I mean very, a difficult assignment. And now that you've given Geechi this much time to rest,
Oh
hold up,
my
man.
god.
Let me pull this up. I want to get the exact number here because I think Geechi Gotti's had this much time off ever, Vlad.
What?
He's battled 60 times in like 4 years, right?
Golly.
And so for Feebu, okay, he did battle Jay Mills and Emerson Kennedy, but prior to that, he hadn't battled until November. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
So November, December, January.
3 months off. Yeah.
He had a solid 3 months off. He hasn't had that much time off in a very, very, very long time. No disrespect to Jay Mills. Could have be, you know what I'm saying? Could have sleepwalked and got that victory. Emerson Kennedy was a battle on the West. And those battles are always friendly. He came.
Little friendly fire.
You feel me? But what he did to Feeble, man, I can't get over it. Like we all were like, "Whoa, we haven't seen you have this much
Give him
emphasis in a
100
while."
lashings, yo. Like he gave
Yeah,
that brother 100
and so now,
lashings, man.
but he had an
He gave
interview
people
with
what he paid for, yo.
Swave afterwards. And he's like, "I'm ready to go hit all these smaller leagues that don't usually get to see me perform, and I want to give them 100%." And when I heard him say that, I was like, "Yo, if you came here and took Feebu to this
What's
level
gonna
of
happen when he takes
seriousness,
Bad News?
what's gonna happen when you take Bad News in an environment that's as hostile as that one?" Because obviously,
20K on the floor.
as Bad News is home. No, make no mistake. We got to make sure we put some respect on Bad News' name. Eyez, you battle on bullpen. This is his home. But 20K on the floor.
He gonna come kicking couches, man, rearranging furniture, putting the TV over here, going in the fridge, going on the stove.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Making some hamburgers. It's about to get crazy. But I do think, man, Bad News ain't coming to play either. I do think he's gonna be fire. I think he's gonna be dope. You know, we saw the battle versus True Foe, and he knows what's on the line. He knows this is a big deal. He knows who he's battling. So I do think we're gonna get a very fierce competitive battle for sure, for sure, for sure. But man,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Geechi throwing that 10K on the line on himself, betting on himself. I don't know, bro.
I want to take the time to also give Bad News his credit as far as Judge wins the J2 battle, Midnight Madness, the Snake Eyes battle, and if the other battles on Bags and Bodies along the way that we haven't seen yet. Hasn't been an episode on Coastal Rain for a while.
It's been a minute, man. We want them episodes back, yo.
Don't forget, Vlad, very underrated caveat. He went undefeated at that King of the Dot season. Remember that? And he didn't make the playoffs because of the way the points are set up. So the man went 3-0 in judge battles, beat Ladaze, beat Reggie P, beat Street Hymns.
Yeah.
Respectfully, none of those guys are Geechi Gotti. But he's still 3-0 in those judge battles. And Judge win against J2, Judge win against Bad News. So like his track record in judge battles is just as good too. Obviously, these names aren't Geechi Gotti, but there's only one Geechi Gotti in the world.
Bad News has had a nice, good, sneaky run, man, these past couple of years. Like he's definitely someone who's elevated his stock for sure, and definitely changed his his the way that people view him. I feel like, you know what I mean. So either way, as long as he puts his all into this battle and leaves it all out on the floor,
Which he
you
always
know,
does.
yeah, which he always does. And it's not technically his money on the floor. So it's not like he loses anything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Except,
yeah.
so it's like as long as he just brings it all, man, like it's a win-win for him. So, and I expect to see a fire battle, man. The pandemic card, man, on Bullpen Battle League. That's on April 15th. So, man, go on all socials, go follow Bullpen
Let,
Battle League, and go order up that pay-per-view because that battle
let
is
me
gonna be fire.
let me say this though. One thing that Trufo had, I think that was really intriguing about his victory over Geechi Gotti was
Hmm.
like that will, right? That desire. Like he had so much
Yeah.
emphasis, and you seen Trufo pour his heart on the stage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's why when you see him fucked up in the third round, he goes, "Oh fuck!" Like he smacks his hand because he's like he knows he's having like the performance of his life, and
Right.
damn near almost gave it away. And I also kind of feel like the fan vote wanted to reward him for what I mean, he probably still won the battle, of course, but they wanted to reward him for how special the performance was, and that comes with putting out all this effort. Bad
Hmm.
Newz is somebody that's consistently known for being able to give you 110% on effort. Now with these stakes on the line, a top tier like Geechi Gotti, do you think that like there's a chance that he can outwill Geechi Gotti to a victory as well?
I think Geechi is gonna be up for this battle just as much as Bad News is up for this battle.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't listen. We're gonna keep it 100. When Geechi battled Trufo, that brother was tired. He ain't want to do no damn tournament again. But they was like, "Hey man, we need you," and he was like, "You know what, man? I got you." So maybe he felt like, I don't need to be at 100 and I can sneak out this victory. But
Almost did
Trufo
too.
was like,
I know.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But Trufo was like, hell no, man. I want this. I want this battle way more than you do right now. And it showed, and he won. I think Geechi, he saw what happened with that battle. I think he learned his lesson. I don't think he's gonna be slacking for this battle at all. I think he's gonna want this battle just as much as Bad News wants this battle because he has a lot of pride too. You know what I'm saying? And man, he wants to walk off waving that 20K. You know what I'm saying? Holding it up. You know what I mean? And doing his victory dance and all that. I think this is a totally different set of circumstances than the Trufo battle. I think he learned his lesson. I think he's going to be at 100 for this battle. So, I mean, do I listen? If both dudes are at 100% and both dudes have the same will to win this battle, how can I not go for Geechi?
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, is there a world where you think Bad News is hungrier than Geechi? Because obviously that night, Trufo and Geechi, Trufo was hungrier than Geechi. But at the end of the day,
Right.
what makes Geechi an all time great is the level of discipline he has. Obviously, some performances fluctuate being better than others. Some rounds are more explosive than others, right? But the point is, you always can see him be consistently at this level that is a high level battle rapper. And when he needs to turn on the jets from time to time, he most certainly can. And your level of success is determined on your perseverance and discipline. And discipline is the bridge between your goals and accomplishments. And that's how Geechi Gotti has been able to be the person that he is today through his discipline. So you're right. I think maybe he did look back a little bit at his 2022 and say
Hmm.
that's not going to happen again. But by the way, let's just put this out there. He's so great that a year that people will consider air quote a down year, a year where he has losses like the Trufo Murder Mook battle and Jazz by the caffeine votes, etc. He was still a top 20 battle rapper. So how, how
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? This guy's really fucking good.
And that's on cruise control. You know what I'm saying?
You know, if your cruise control or your down year is third team All NBA, you're fucking awesome. Like, you know
Right.
what
But
I'm
what
saying?
happens when he presses down on the accelerator? You know what I'm saying? What happens when he's on that gas
Mm,
pedal, man? Nonstop.
mm.
What happens when he's redlining? You know what I mean? Like, shall I say blue lining? You know what I'm saying?
Good
It's
game.
about to get crazy. I mean, so I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
I'm sold, man. I am sold. That 20K on the line, man. This battle is about to be it's about to be stupid, dog.
Plus, you know, it's an EFB night. Avs on the card, Hustle's on the card.
Oh, hello. That
Yeah.
versus the other man, the other Christian bull,
Yeah, Hustle.
Loso.
coming off fresh off the article. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fire article too, by the way, man. Salute to
Appreciate
Miss
that.
Hustle for sharing that article. You know what I mean? Y'all can go on let's talk battle and see the evolution of Miss Hustle and her pen, man. Like, you care to drop just, a quick little tidbit about that, man? Little 30 seconds telling the people
Yeah,
how Miss Hustle switched things
yeah.
up and all that.
Yeah, I want everybody to go check that out because it's really just following some of her preeminent years that she had in 2022 and 2023 so far, and how she's reached her apex as a puncher. I kind of break down the new writing structures that she's tapped into that's really been able to be sustainable for her success in these high level performances she's had over her last 6-7 battles. This isn't a short sample size. This is a sustainable enough sample size that lets me know this is now her new floor. And I even break down her punch count. You can see prior to 2021, she would punch maybe like she would have like 14 punchlines around. And now since 2022, 2023, she has about 23 punchlines per round. So like that 9 punchline difference is everything there because she was already a fundamental performer, a great aggressor on the stage. And now that the pen is amped up with very sharp strategic transitions and a multifaceted variety of ways to punch with better wordplay too, she's a fucking threat. And I gotta give it up.
Yeah, man. So go read the details of that article, man, as well as, like I said, man, our man Q Moody, senior staff writer, put in a lot of work to this Eazy The Block Captain article. So I definitely want you guys to go check that out at letstalkbattlerap.com, man. France, anything else to add for the night?
I think we're done.
We're done, man. Another one in the books. Like I said, letstalkbattlerap.com. Letstalkbattlerap.com. And follow us on all socials at LTBR Podcast. And we will see you guys next week. We started this podcast on a Monday night, and now we are in Tuesday. So we're working hard for the people, them. So hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see you next week. Peace.